Hello and good morning to those of you who are watching this in the morning. It's being shot in the morning. Hello and welcome, my fellow broke aristocrats. How are you today? I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who gave supportive comments for the last video I posted. I was having a bit of a rough day yesterday. There were some comments that were made on my channel that pushed a few buttons, and so I had a bit of a moment on YouTube, and so people sent supportive comments. You know, it was one of those days. I took the video down just because I don't want to give it any more attention than it needs. But basically, I had a reaction to some negative comments. So today, moving on, so I want to thank people and I want to apologize if I was not at my best yesterday. So moving on, today I'm having a tea time. Yes, so we have, for those of us who are broke aristocrats, you need to have a couple props. This is my fan, because we ladies, we like to have our fans, we broke aristocrats, so be sure and get one of these. You can get them on Amazon or at your local Chinatown. They usually run a buck or two, and they're fun, particularly those of us who are older ladies who might have peaked moments. This is one of those frugal wins for women of a certain age. If you're having a peaked moment, the frugal thing to do is to simply have a fan, and it's quite the conversation piece. Some fans are quite lovely, depending upon where you get them, and yes, it brings a little bit of character to your ensemble, as they say. So today, I'm going to make this a regular thing, these tea times. I'll try and shoot them on Wednesday so we have some consistency. But today's tea, I'll show you what it is one of my favorites. It's the Twinings. Actually, I don't think it's Twinings. I think it's another one. Like a PG Tibbs. It's a very affordable working class British tea, as they say, and I'm having it with some coconut sugar, which has a lower glycemic index than regular sugar. You can get coconut sugar for a fairly inexpensive price at Trader Joe's or Aldi's, and I like to put a little bit of condensed milk in it because that's a habit I learned when I used to live in Europe. And you can get the non-fat or the low-fat condensed milks, but it gives it a kind of a nice creamy flavor. And so we take a sip, and then we have our tea time today, where we're going to be talking about all things frugal. And today I wanted to talk about a book that I got on Kindle. It was a Kindle recommendation, and I really am inspired by this book, and I want to talk about the basic principles of this book, and there will be a link below. If you have Kindle Unlimited, the book is free. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, the Kindle version is $1.99, and if you'd like to get a hard copy, they are certainly available and affordable used, because the book I'm recommending today is As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh. I was reading quite a bit of it last night. I began to read the book yesterday night. James Allen wrote it. It was written about 100 years ago, but they now have a new translation of As a Man Thinketh. I don't know if y'all can see that. I don't know. Might not be able to see it that great. I apologize. But basically the premise is that James Allen, he grew up working poor in England. His father died when he was 15 years old. I think it was England he was born in. And he was forced to go to work at, he was born in Britain, and he was forced to go to work and give up school when he was 15 years old because his father died. And he began to become self-educated because he couldn't continue his formal education, in the pursuit of 4 virtues. He chose to live his life based on 4 virtues, and that was truth, beauty, to be able to be, inspired and to seek and enjoy the beauty around us, virtue, being a righteous person, and to be a successful person. And I just loved this book right off the top because it really is the values of broke aristocrats. If you share those values, and if you're living below your means, then you can rest assured that you are a broke aristocrat. You may not know you're a broke aristocrat, but those are the values of a broke aristocrat: truth, beauty, virtue, and success. I had some issues with beauty because I thought, beauty's kind of superficial. But then when I prayed on it, I realized that in terms of my own spiritual beliefs, we don't all share the same spiritual beliefs, but I think life, we can say that part of being alive is to enjoy the beauty around us. That the beauty around us is a gift. The beauty of human relationships is a gift. The beauty of love is a gift. The beauty of nature is a gift. And we want to be able to enjoy these things. So truth, beauty, virtue, and success. Those were the things he went on the journey to pursue. The basic premise of this book is that everything begins with the mind. Everything begins with our minds. I think that's one of the most powerful truths that we can all walk away with. And everything comes from our minds. We are, in a nutshell, our thoughts. We are our thoughts. We are our internal belief systems. If we dwell on negative things, if we dwell on anger, if we dwell on resentment, it becomes us, it is us, and there really is no separation between our thoughts and internal belief systems and who we fundamentally are. We literally are our thoughts. I thought that was very, very powerful, particularly at this time in American history where so many people are struggling to break the cycle of poverty. It also made me realize that one of the best frugal gifts that I can give people on broke aristocrats is encouraging them to take control of their mind and realize that your mind is your greatest asset and your internal belief systems are your greatest struggle, and they're also your greatest gift. They're your greatest struggle if you are repetitively thinking negative thoughts about yourself, about others, about your situation. You, in a nutshell, can pretty much, we can cripple ourselves with our thoughts, but we can also liberate ourselves with our thoughts. He said something also that I wanted to share. He said, dwelling on noble thoughts, that we should dwell on noble thoughts. Always thinking about how we can be in harmony with what he thought was the natural laws of the universe, what some people would call God, that when we are right, when we are aligned with a noble life, or what Buddhism would call the eightfold path. I've studied Buddhism quite a bit. Right speech, right actions, right thoughts. We align ourselves with these natural laws or God, or simply, if you're an atheist, you are aligning yourself with hopefully a better life that is optimized. So he called that basically dwelling on noble thoughts. I want to read a couple of passages here. By right thinking, we harmonize with the divine intelligence of the universe. By wrong thinking, we descend into the level of a beast. I thought that was pretty powerful. There are so many powerful statements in this book. We are masters of our own thoughts, the authors of our own characters, and thus makers of our own destiny. I thought that was pretty great too. He deviates from The Secret, and I'm glad he does, because I have some problems with The Secret. Those of you who've read The Secret, one of my big criticisms of The Secret was that it implied that everything that happens to us is our fault, and that we somehow have the power to control other people's free choices, which I think is rather silly. And he has a response to that. And I want to read that because I thought this was very mature and very wise, and it's certainly the it's certainly the belief systems of the broke aristocrats, what we officially believe, and that is this. Character is simply the sum of our thoughts, and character manifests itself in our environment and through our circumstances. So the outer condition of our life is always a reflection of our inner state. This doesn't mean that we have brought about everything in our life at a given moment. Other people have their creative power too, which may cooperate or conflict with ours, or that we may have earned it doesn't mean that we have earned every circumstance that comes our way, but our thoughts are so closely tied to our circumstances that they are inseparable. Even when events or situations are out of our control, our thoughts and reactions and responses to those things are still within our control. In plain words, we don't have the power to control someone else's free choice. This is where I don't agree with The Secret. But what we do have control over is how we react to the external world. Anyway, I wanted to share this book with everyone because I'm reading it and because I think it's positive. And I will put links below if you want to order the Kindle Unlimited version. And I love it. And I think it's one of the best things that we can do for ourselves in the frugal community is to begin to realize that ultimately everything that we do is a result of our thoughts. We are ultimately the sum of our thoughts. And once we recognize the truth of that, it gives us tremendous power and free choice. And it also puts the onus on us. It also makes us aware of the fact that gaining control of our mind has to be a priority if we are to live a debt-free life and create the kind of a life that we want for ourselves. We must first gain control of our minds. And that's why at Broke Aristocrats we encourage people to be clean and sober. And really, sobriety, being clean and sober, is the first step in gaining control of our minds. If we are inebriated, if we are engaged in some kind of drug addiction or pharmaceutical drug addiction, we don't have control over our minds. The drug has control over us. The alcohol has control over us. The cigarettes have control of us. And that is an expensive habit, by the way, because not only does it compromise your health, but you're paying money to hurt yourself. And so gaining control of your mind, being clean and sober, understanding that your mind is your greatest asset is really something that I wanted to leave you with today on Broke Aristocrats. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, and tell me what you're doing to take care of yourself on a budget. I have to say, for $1.99 on Amazon Kindle, or free if you have Kindle Unlimited, this book is one of the best investments I can think of for anybody who is trying to live the good life without breaking the bank. So thanks for watching, everybody, and take care. Bye-bye.